indicators. Okay, so the M&E methods or approaches to be used are fit for purpose to the nature and state of intervention applied. So it should be systematically analyzed and triangulated for improved credibility. Okay. And it should also be operationally effective. No? So to ensure that it will be effective and properly managed, it should be embedded in the implementation plans, allocated with sufficient resources. And also, it should be a shared responsibility. No? So it is a critical element for the organization to achieve its goals. So as a member of the organization with a similar goal, each has a responsibility to conduct monitoring and evaluation that will support evidence-based decision-making towards better achievement of the goal. Okay, so question. The guiding principles by which the department will implement its M&E system and processes are governed by the following exacts. Okay, what's the correct answer? Letter D. So M&E should be an individual responsibility. So, which is, which should be otherwise. Okay, so the guiding principles of M&E is that they should be able to contribute to improve governance, should be development oriented, should be undertaken ethically and with integrity, should be utilization oriented, methodologically sound and appropriate, operationally effective, and a shared responsibility. It's not an individual responsibility, but a shared responsibility. Which among the four levels of BEMEF represents what the DepEd as an organization endeavors the learners to be while inside the basic education system in terms of access and quality? The correct answer is letter C. Intermediate outcomes, or the IOs. So here are the different IOs for intermediate outcomes. The four pillars of access, equity, quality, resiliency, and well-being. So as you can see, the basic education monitoring and evaluation framework, okay, is also aligned or anchored, no, on DEDP 2030. So the goal represents the contribution of the department in achieving societal aspirations. Then the outcome represents the result that the DepEd would like to attain as an organization. The IO, okay, represents what the DepEd as an organization endeavors. And the EE, okay, defines the necessary governance structure in terms of leadership investments. Okay. So intermediate outcomes or IOs, okay, the four pillars, and then EE, the EE are the enabling environments. Okay, the enabling environment that would define the necessary governance structure, no, in terms of leadership, investment management systems, and partnerships. Okay, next question. How can we ensure that no child and youth is left behind in the education system and reach their full potential as active members of their communities and the Philippine society? So, what is the correct answer? So, letter B. School-age children and youth and adults in situations of disadvantage benefited from appropriate equity and initiatives. So, that is the real meaning of no child and youth left behind. Okay, so these refers to the youth, the children, school-age children, the youth and adults in disadvantaged situations are covered by the no child and youth left behind. Okay, so the IOs, right, or intermediate outcomes are the following. Okay, IO number 1, all school-age children out of school youth and adults access relevant basic learning opportunities. Okay, well, the second IO, school-age children and youth and adults in situations of disadvantage benefited from appropriate equity initiatives. And IO3, learners complete K to 12 basic education having attained all learning standards that equip them with necessary skills and attributes to pursue their chosen paths. Then IO4, learners are resilient and know their rights and have their life skills to protect themselves and claim their education rights from DepEd and other duty bearers to promote learners' well-being. Okay, so next question. Enabling mechanisms or the enabling environment. Define the necessary governance structures in terms of leadership, the people, investments, and management systems, partnerships, and external relations that will ensure the efficient delivery of basic education services. So as an education leader and manager, how can we enhance people's capacity, functional and leadership competencies, internal systems and processes to efficiently and effectively deliver basic education services? The correct answer is A, improve and modernize internal systems and processes for a responsive and efficient financial resource management. So it is the enabling environment, no, for good governance. That is first, uh, education leaders and managers practice participative and inclusive management processes. And EM2 is human resources in all governance levels are sufficient, resilient, competent, and continuously improving. So EM5 involves key stakeholders actively collaborate to serve learners better. And EM6 is public and private education operate under a dynamic and responsive complementary framework. Okay, so there are basically how many enabling environments are there are present. So there are 6 enabling environments, okay, or enabling mechanisms. Okay, there are 6 enabling mechanisms. Excuse me. What are the categories of key performance indicators? So tier 1, those that are readily available in our current information systems and administrative data. Tier 2, those currently under development or with ongoing policy initiatives. Excuse me. So which of this combination, tier 1 and 2, okay, is correct? So the correct answer is C. Both statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. Okay. So they're just part of the categories as key performance indicators, but they are not sufficient, no? Why? Because there are various performance indicators. Okay. It's not only until tier 1 and 2, but we also have tier 3. So the implementation of these indicators will be divided into these 3 tiers, which are as follows. Tier 1 indicators are those that are readily available in our current information systems and administrative data. Tier 2 indicators are those currently under development and or with ongoing policy initiatives. And Tier 3 indicators are those that are yet to be developed. So the agency performance matrix enumerates and articulates the agency performance indicators that shall measure DepEd's organizational performance. So this includes the description, frequency of data, the data disaggregation, and data source for each IO performance indicator, and includes the description, frequency of data reporting, data disaggregation, and accountable offices for each EM performance indicator. Next, monitoring explains the efficiency and effectiveness of operations, while evaluation provides information on the benefits achieved, which results provide basis for critical management decisions such as resource allocation or realignment, target setting, remedial corrective actions, or strategy development. Correct answer is A, monitoring results. So monitoring and evaluation mechanism involves the following aspects. So monitoring explains the efficiency and effectiveness of operations. So monitoring results provide basis for critical management decisions, and evaluation results provide valuable lessons and insights that can be used by the managers in crafting strategic decisions for the future, such as in designing organizational changes or future programs and or projects. So what are the types of monitoring and evaluation? Okay, so these are monitoring, process evaluation, and monitoring and evaluation. These are the processes that both refer to the measurement of the performance of an organization, a program, or an individual. Okay, so the correct answer is A. Statement 1 alone is sufficient, but statement 2 is not sufficient, okay, to answer the question. So the correct answer is letter A. Okay, so types of M&E. What are these? We have monitoring, process evaluation, and resource evaluation. There are three types of M&A: monitoring, process evaluation, results evaluation. So monitoring, okay, a systematic and objective assessment of and an ongoing implementation of plans, programs, and projects and major activities. Okay, so DepEd monitoring involves the Program Management Information System, or PMIS. Okay, the mechanism in doing monitoring and currently the official source of data on programs, projects, and activities, okay, or PPAs, from planning to implementation. So in support of monitoring and evaluation, we have Program Implementation Review, or PIR, established as the reporting platform. So the PIR is conducted on a quarterly basis to report the accomplishment of outputs in terms of efficiency and corresponding utilization of the budget. Okay, next type of M&E is process evaluation. It is the one that determines the effectiveness and efficiency of the implementation process and systems. Okay, so which can be conducted at any phase of the plan implementation and be combined with other types of monitoring. So through this evaluation, issues and challenges in program, project, and activity, PPA deliveries can be addressed. Okay, so what were specific interventions put into place by the program to fight the problem being tackled? Okay, so these are some of the key questions. Okay, under the next type of M&E, which is process evaluation. Okay, did the interventions work or not, and how and why? Okay, so these are some key questions that will be asked during process evaluation. What were the kinds of problems encountered in delivering the program? Were there enough resources from the beginning to do it well? Was it well managed? Okay, so next type of NME, the third type, is results evaluation. So this is an evaluation approach that focuses on measuring the realization of the results. So it seeks to assess the outcomes and the changes brought about by the program or project interventions. The findings from this type of evaluation are used as the baseline situation for the next planning cycle. So under results in the evaluation, we have the following key questions that will be asked. Did the program succeed in helping teachers to use ICT in teaching and learning process? Was the program more successful with certain groups of people than with others? So what aspects of the program did participants find give the greatest benefit? Okay, so let's answer this question. In operationalizing the conduct of M&E, all operating units are required to develop M&E plans for their respective education plans, programs, and plans. So why is M&E plan important? Okay. So this will provide guidance on the purpose and process of conducting monitoring and evaluation of any programs, policies, projects, office mandates, and activities, and to ensure that the team can answer the who, what, when, how, and why of a project before moving into the execution phase. So the correct combination is letter A. Statement 1 alone is sufficient, but statement 2 is not sufficient to answer the question. Okay, so operationalizing the conduct of M&E, okay, involves the following aspects. So the M&E plan is a document that provides guidance on the purpose and process of conducting monitoring and evaluation, right? So the M&E plan contains 4 core M&E processes. So all the DepEd operating units across governance levels shall conduct process evaluation. However, the conduct of outcome and impact evaluation of programs, projects, and major activities shall be done by the internal and external parties across governance levels not involved in the implementation of particular plans and programs. Of course, to avoid conflict of interest. So what are the M&E processes that are critical in conducting the monitoring and evaluation? Establishment of scope and purpose, data collection and management. So what's the correct answer here? The correct answer is letter C. Both statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question because there are still other more critical process in conducting the monitoring and evaluation. What are these processes? No? So it involves establishment of purpose and scope, data collection and management, data analysis, information dissemination, reporting, and utilization. Okay. So the conduct of M&E follows the 4 core process of the M&E. So first, we have identifying and setting the purpose and scope. Second, data collection and management. Third, data analysis. Fourth, information dissemination, reporting, and utilization. So which is not true about vertical integration of the M&E system across governance levels. Okay, so which is not true. So letter C, it shall align the development and implementation process of basic education plans, policies, programs, projects, major activities, and M&E processes among operating units in a particular governance level. Okay, so the M&E system per governance level. The M&E system shall serve as an integrating mechanism across governance level and with operating units of the department. Okay, so the vertical integration of the M&E system across governance level is the systematic alignment of the development and implementation of the basic education plans, policies, programs, projects, major activities, and M&E processes from the national to regional to the schools division office and to the school level and vice versa. While the horizontal integration of the M&E system within governance level shall align the development and implementation process of basic education plans, policies, programs, projects, major activities, and M&E processes among operating units in a particular governance level. Okay. So the BEMEF shall enable each office to come up with a more holistic and integrated analysis, and all DepEd operating units across governance levels shall conduct the M&E of the respective basic educational plans to make the M&E system functional. Okay, so here are the M&E system per governance level. So at the national M&E system, they're the one that defines the scope, okay, of the DepEd M&E system. Okay, well, the regional M&E system ensures effective, efficient, and inclusive implementation. The school division M&E system focuses on determining the effectiveness and inclusiveness of schools. And the school level makes teaching and learning process more learning-centered and school-based management more effective and inclusive. So it is the national M&E system that shall establish results-based M&E at all levels, provide mechanism for horizontal integration, as well as ensuring vertical integration of the M&E systems. Okay. Well, in the regional, they're the one that established results-based M&E at the regional level, also ensuring horizontal as well as vertical, okay, integration, okay, and then ensuring M&E standards and processes are implemented, and also evaluate the impact effectiveness, okay, of the program. Then we have regional M&E system also evaluate the impact, facilitate exchange of information, provide feedback to CO, ensure integration of M&E, and link M&E results to the organizational and individual performance. Well, the schools division office M&E system establish results-based M&E at the school division level, strengthen the link of M&E systems between SDO and schools, and ensures integration of M&E initiatives of SDO operating units, monitor effective and efficient implementation of education policies, programs, and ensure M&E standards and processes are implemented at the SDO and school levels. Okay. While the school M&E system shall ensure periodic conduct of M&E in all school operations, they're the one that track operational bottlenecks and issues to update, calibrate, and differentiate the response every school year, and formalize interface between and among school head, teachers, and non-teaching staff. Okay, to discuss operational issues and challenges. Okay, so the following are the objectives of the school M&E system except. Okay, so which of this is not a part of the school M&A system? So letter A is the correct answer. Monitor the effective and efficient implementation of education policies and programs. Okay, so that is the function of the national M&E. So which of the following shall be the responsibility of the school personnel and other stakeholders in the school M&A system? Answer is C. Provide feedback, insights, lessons, and other issues gathered from the respective M&A activities to relevant school operating units, community members, and other key stakeholders through dissemination of SRC, conduct of LAC sessions, and preparation of transparency board. Next, who is the responsible process owner in the school M&E system that will lead in the development and implementation of plans, programs, projects, and major activities to make the school more effective and inclusive? It is the school head. Okay. So rules and responsibilities of offices. Okay. So these are the rules and responsibilities of offices from the national to the regional, the school division, and the school level. So in the national, the overall lead is the secretary. In the regional director. In the schools division, the school division superintendent. In the school head. Okay. And for the process owner, for the national is the planning service. The regional, it is the quality assurance division. For the school division is the school's governance and operations division. And for the school is the school head. While the responsible officers, no, at the national, regional, and school division levels are all the operating units, while for the school level are all personnel and stakeholders in the schools. So these are the rules and responsibilities of the offices. Okay, so the overall lead, okay, for the secretary for the national, the regional director for the region, the schools division superintendent for the SDO, and the school head for the schools. So these are their responsibilities. Okay. Now, the common responsibilities of the secretary, the regional director, and the schools division superintendent is that they serve as the lead, okay, to make sure that they lead the institutionalization of the basic education, national, regional, and SD M&A system, provide decisions and directions, communicate education concerns, approve educational policies, and determine additional performance indicators and other adjustments. While the school head lead the institutionalization of the school and M&E system, provide decisions and directions on school issues and matters, communicate school concerns, oversee the conduct of M&E activities in the school, and engage different stakeholders in the conduct of school M&E activities. And they conduct quarterly program implementation review, or PIR, maintain records of M&E results, and integrate such in the preparation of the SIP, the AIP, the OPCRF, and they develop M&A plan, prepare school M&A reports for dissemination to internal and external stakeholders such as the SRC, the Transparency Board, Learning Action Cells, and among others, and determine additional performance indicators and other adjustments in the school and M&A plan. Okay, so the process owner are the planning service, the quality assurance division, school governance and operation divisions, and the school head. Okay, so these are the functions of the process owners. Okay. And responsible offices, okay, and their functions. All right. So you might want to check the following references. Okay. So up next, we have DepEd policies and research. So what particular DepEd order that embodies the DepEd policies on research? So we're gonna go through the step-in order. So let's try to answer this question. During the call for research proposals, proponents will have 1 month after the call for proposals is posted to submit the intended study. So the study proposal will be submitted to the appropriate research committee in either physical or electronic form. What are the requirements needed? So the requirements would be C, both application form and both statement 1 and 2 alone are not sufficient to answer the question because there are several requirements, no? Which include application form and endorsement, research proposal, and anti-plagiarism and absence of conflict of interest declaration. Okay, so which of the following criteria will not cause the research secretary to return the proposal submitted? So it's very important that it should conform to the research ethics. Okay. So ethics in doing research is very important, no? So you should be able to um, really define, okay, how are you going to meet the research um, ethics standards? Okay. So for the evaluation of proposals, okay, we have it undergoes initial training. So the research management guidelines, no, is anchored on DepEd Order number 16, series of 2017. So it is DepEd Order 16, series of 2017 that lays down all the research management guidelines, including evaluation of proposals for initial screening. Okay, so the criteria and scoring form will be used by the research committee to assess the proposal. What is the required minimum score in order to get approved? So for your proposal to be approved by the committee, what should be the required minimum score? It is letter B, 70%. So at least you get 70%, then you get accepted. So to qualify for approval, the proponent must have a minimum score of 70%. So the research committee shall provide comments, if any, to the proposals for consideration of the proponent prior to the implementation of the research. Okay, so which of the following is not one of the school's division research committee's functions and responsibilities? So it is letter D. Confirm school research proposals endorsed by the SDRC unless the committee finds major issues in the SDRC approved research proposals. Okay, so under DepEd Order number 16, series of 2017, the Schools Division Research Committee or the SDRC will assume the responsibilities of research management at the schools division level. So the SDRC will have the following rules and responsibilities. So there are 7 responsibilities of the SDRC. According to the Bed Order number 16, series of 2017, what is the responsibility of the school head as the immediate superior of a teacher researcher in the school? So the school head will serve as, okay, none, not an advisor, not a consultant, not a researcher. Okay, so under the Bed Order number 16, 2017, the composition of the SDRC is as follows. So the ESDS as the chair, okay, with co-chairs, the chief, school governance and operations division, chief, okay, the curriculum implementation division, okay, the co-chairs. And the advisor is the school's division superintendent or the SDS as the advisor. While the members are the SEPs, planning and research, CID representatives based on requirement for the evaluation, representative from finance unit, and by invitation, focal person of concerned division, learning area, section, or program, and the secretariat, the school's operations and governance division, or SGOD. Okay, next. In the event that the grantee sees the need for an extension, a letter requesting an extension with justification must be submitted to the chair of the relevant research committee. What are the valid reasons for this extension? The answer is letter D. Each statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. So, illness of the researcher, okay, is considered valid, or occurrence of disasters and other extenuating circumstances could be valid reason. So, which statement is false in the response of the research committee regarding the request for extension? So, letter D, the request for extension will be approved provided there will be less additional cost to DepEd. So, according to DepEd Order 16, series of 2017, in terms of request for extension, so in the event that the grantee sees the need for an extension, a letter of request for extension with justification must be submitted to the chair of the relevant research committee, and valid reasons for extension such as but not limited to illness of the researcher, no occurrence of disasters, and other extenuating circumstances will be decided by the committee, and the request for extension will be approved provided there will be no additional cost to DepEd. No, so the researcher will be allowed only one request for extension, and the duration of the extension will be assessed and decided by the research committee, and granted extensions will not exceed 1 year. Okay, so whenever the proponent will file for extension, no, so the DepEd will no longer incur additional costs. So a researcher is conducting research that involves the process of systematic and reflective inquiry to improve educational practices and resolve problems in the school. What kind of research is she doing? The answer is letter C, action research. Next. So action research is the process of systematic, reflective inquiry to improve education practices or resolve problems in any operation unit, whether the school, the classroom, or the office. Okay, so the Basic Education Research Fund, BERF, is a grant provided by the Department of Education to support education research in aid of evidence-based policy formulation, which is not the eligibility criteria for the research proponent. So A, okay, so proponents doesn't necessarily have to be a published researcher, no? So it's not one of the eligibility criteria for the research proponents. Okay, so as long as proponents are regular, permanent teaching or non-teaching personnel, and they have no pending administrative case, have not yet availed of the grant for the given year, or there's a maximum of 3 research team members for group proposals. So which of the following statements is true in the release and liquidation of funds? Okay, the correct answer is A. So statement 1 alone is sufficient, but statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. So BERF is output based. Okay. Okay, so release and liquidation of funds, no, is output based. What is the purpose of establishing the eSalicyc portal for the departments? Okay, so what is the eSalicyc portal for? The answer is letter D. This will improve access to education, research, and foster a culture of research. Okay, so under DepEd Order number 14, series of 2022, embodies the adoption of eSalicyc, the DepEd research portal. It is a scientific field of study that examines the education and learning processes and the human attributes, interactions, organizations, and institutions that shape educational outcomes. The correct answer is letter C, education research. Okay. So under DepEd Order number 14, series of 2002, Basic Education Research Fund, or BERF, is a grant provided by the DepEd to support education research in aid of evidence-based decision making, which is true about basic or fundamental research. Answer is B. It contributes to the development of knowledge and theory. Next, research bulletin is an abridged version of research for public dissemination. What is not included in its part? So if you have a research bulletin, okay, the research methodology is not included. It's not part of it. So research bulletin is an abridged version of research for public dissemination. It has 4 basic parts, namely the introduction, the discussion of results, findings, conclusions, and recommendations, and references. Which is not a concern for the inclusion of research in the limited public disclosure. The answer is A, research that is not subject to international regulation. Okay, next, who will decide for the release of full versions of uh, research reports designated for limited public disclosure? It is the regional director. Okay, what kind of certificate will the birth grantees receive once the completed research is uploaded to the eSelectSeek portal? It is the A, certificate of acceptance. Okay. Next, full versions of research reports designated for general public disclosure shall be uploaded to the portal. What considerations are included in this tier of disclosure? So it is the D, research that has been accepted under the quality control process. Research with authors who have consented to its archiving on the portal. And C, research that is not subject to international regulation. So what is the or are the principles of evaluating the quality of the research? D, yes. It must be holistic and ensues from a process, okay, growth and development for quality research. Okay, which is not the responsibility of the Schools Division Office in the adoption of eSelectSeek, the DepEd Research Portal. So the correct answer is A, assist the ROPPRD in the quality control of completed research for archiving in the research portal. So basic education research agenda 2016 to 2022 is embodied under DepEd Order number 39 series of 2016. Okay, so basic education research agenda. Okay, so basic education research agenda is embodied under DepEd Order number 39 series of 2016, dated June 10, 2016, the adoption of the basic education research agenda. Okay, so as long as your research, okay, follows the agenda, then it will be subject for BERFANS. The following are the objectives of the research agenda stipulated in the DepEd Order number 39, series of 2016. Except C, systematically focus DepEd's attention on extraneous education issues. So you must avoid extraneous education issues. It must be specific. Okay. So the research agenda objectives composed of 4: build on gains from existing research, generate new knowledge on less explored but priority fields of basic education, systemically focus DepEd's attention on relevant education issues, and maximize available resources for research within and outside the department. So the scope of the basic education research agenda will guide all DepEd researchers from school, divisions, regions, and central office. In the same way, the agenda will also be shared for consideration of external partners. Okay. So which of the following statement is true about the DepEd mission? Okay. As stated in DepEd Order number 36 of series of 2013. A, students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and monitoring environment. So our mission is to protect and promote the right of every Filipino to quality, equitable, culture-based, and complete basic education, right? Under DepEd Order number 36, series of 2013. DepEd adheres to the following principles in the conduct of education research, except D, quality. No? So overall, DepEd adheres to the following principles in the conduct of basic education research: excellence, integrity, and openness. What are the identified basic education research themes which dovetail with the department mission? 1, these are the teaching and learning, child protection, human resource development, and governance. 2, also it includes disaster risk reduction and management, gender development, and inclusive education. So the answer is A. Statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Okay, so this is the conceptual framework of the basic education research agenda aligned with the vision, okay, and mission, okay, of the DepEd, the target outcomes, DepEd's actions, and the research agenda, which include teaching and learning, child protection, human resource development, and governance, including disaster risk reduction management, inclusive education, gender, and development. So if you are into action research, so you should anchor your research topic with this research agenda. Okay, next question. Mr. Munoz works at school XYZ as a researcher. He made the decision to draft a proposal with the subtheme instruction. Which of the following is not a crucial topic that he ought to concentrate on improving the process of teaching and learning? So which is not associated with teaching and learning? The answer is B, child protection. So teaching and learning theme includes instruction, okay, that incorporates strategies to enhance the teaching and learning process. Next, curriculum will focus on the contribution of the new K-12 curriculum on improving learning outcomes with the integration of skills and competencies such as DRR and CCA in the delivery of the new curriculum. Looking at effectiveness is crucial. Key topics under curriculum include but are not limited to the following. Okay, so under curriculum, we have child development. Next question. Assessment requires further study to refine the details of the framework. Key topics under assessment includes the following, except. Okay, so topics under assessment involves the following, except letter B, learning environments. Next, so the first theme is teaching and learning, no? So what factors affect the teacher's delivery of the curriculum? So these are some important aspects under teaching and learning. Okay, so what teaching and learning strategies can teachers apply to ensure inclusive and learner-centered education? Okay, so under teaching and learning, we have curriculum, okay, and also how is the curriculum able to contribute in achieving the learning outcomes? So under teaching and learning theme, okay, involves studying the developmental, social, and behavioral effects of teaching and learning process on the learners. Okay, so DepEd has defined the official K-12 assessment framework, which lays out current policies and shows the current thinking on the matter. So assessment is given attention in learning, under teaching and learning. Okay. So to assess the effectiveness of previous interventions and the potential of new approaches to better protect learners in schools, main topics under child protection include the following, exams. So all these topics are under child protection, exams, letter D, higher order thinking skills. So under child protection, the second theme, okay, so this involves reported incidents of bullying, teenage pregnancy, addictive behaviors, and child labor. So these are some topics under child protection. Okay. Child abuse, addiction, media consumption. Okay, next question. As DepEd is the nation's largest bureaucracy, it is imperative that various strategies are developed to nurture the vast human capital involved in delivering basic education. So research questions will delve in sub-themes, exact, okay, exact letter D, program management. Okay, so it is under human resource development. It's one of the theme, no? The theme 3, as DepEd is the nation's largest bureaucracy, it is imperative that various strategies are developed to nurture the vast human capital involved in delivering basic education. So under this, human resource development team, we have teaching and non-teaching qualifications and hiring, career development, and employee welfare. Okay, so theme 3 is human resource development. Okay, so these are researchable topics under human resource development. Next question, who will lead in the local research management and monitoring the progress of the agenda? It is the policy, planning, and research division. So in monitoring and evaluation, the overall it is the PRD that will provide recommendations for the review of the research agenda. Okay. And then the regional policy planning and research divisions, or the PPRDs, will lead in the local research management and monitoring the progress of the agenda. Okay. An annual review will be conducted to assess the progress of the agenda. So this time, we will now focus our attention on the Matatag implementation related policies. Okay, so as you all know, we have the 4-point basic education agenda, Matatag. So the department's agenda remains to be consistent with BEDP 2030. So the DepEd shall operate under the Matatag Basic Education Agenda, which aims to do the following. So there are 4 points under the Basic Education Agenda. For make the curriculum simple but relevant to provide job-ready, active, and responsible citizens. Ta, by taking steps to accelerate delivery of basic education facilities and services. Okay. And taking good care of learners by promoting learner well-being, inclusive education, and a positive learning environment. And G, give support for teachers to teach better. Okay. So question. To support the K-12 curriculum and its literacy and numeracy programs through the equitable provision of quality and accessible supplementary learning resources, SLR. The school libraries and library hubs should have the following: except D, compliance with DepEd library programs and information services. So under enclosure, the DepEd order number 24, series of 2023, these are the guidelines of the provision of supplementary learning resources for public school libraries and library hubs. So we have the rationale, and to consistently improve and realize their functions and services, the school libraries and library hubs should have extensive and up-to-date collection, professional and competent staff, and as well as relevant and responsive policies, adequate reading and learning spaces, responsive ICT reading and learning tools and equipment, and compliance with DepEd library programs and information services. Next, it is a reservoir of SLRs located within a schools division which aims to provide public elementary and secondary schools with SLRs. So the SLRs are arranged in plastic bins and sorted by learning area and grade level. So what is this? This serve as your B, the library hub. Okay, so under enclosure to DepEd order number 24, series of 2023, no? So the library hub is a reservoir of SLRs located within a school's division which aims to provide public elementary and secondary schools with SLRs. So the SLRs are arranged in plastic bins and sorted by learning area and grade level. Okay, the following are the types of supplementary learning resources, or SLRs. Exact. Letter D, non-book type SLRs. Okay, so under enclosure DepEd order number 24, series of 2023, so the following are the types of SLRs included under these guidelines: the general references, the learning area references, fiction books, creative works, and non-book type SLRs. Okay, the following are the composition of the regular members of the SLR committee for school library hub, except A, the school head or the teacher in charge. So, the SLR committee for the school library and library hub proposed the following. No, the school and division SLR committee. Okay, the responsible person is the school SLR committee for school library. No, the chairperson is the school head or the teacher in charge. The vice chair is the assistant principal, or in the absence thereof, a head teacher or a master teacher or the most senior teacher by experience. And the regular members are the reading coordinator, the mathematics coordinator, a head teacher, a master teacher, or the teachers designated as department head or subject area coordinator. And the regular members should not exceed 5. Okay. So these are the school SLR committee for school library. For the division SLR committee for library hub, we have the chairperson, the Learning Resources Management Section LRMS Supervisor, the Vice Chairperson, the Public Schools District Supervisor PSDS, designated by the SDS, preferably a reading specialist. And we have the regular members, Education Program Supervisor in charge of reading, and then Education Program Supervisor in charge of mathematics, okay, of our learning area education program supervisor concerned, the division library in charge, and the division personnel for learning resource evaluators. Okay. The members of the SLR committees shall use the DepEd evaluation ratings sheet for supplementary learning resources SLRs to assess the suitability of SLRs for school libraries and library hubs and to ensure that the SLRs are free of any kind of errors. The rating sheet includes our criteria of the following: exact, letter C, presentation and organization. So the school SLR committee shall have the primary responsibility to identify the titles of SLRs for procurements, and the SLRs are free of any kind of errors. Okay, and the rating sheet includes format, content, presentation, and organization, and accuracy and recency of information. Okay. The following public school teachers are eligible for the provision of special hardship allowance, SHA exempts. Letter E, SPED and ALS teachers. Okay, so under DepEd Order 39 series of 2021, the general guidelines and other eligibility conditions, no, the following public school teachers are eligible for the provision of special hardship allowance for SHE are all teachers in elementary and secondary schools in hardship post as determined by the hardship index, the multi-grade teachers in pure multi-grade schools, the mobile teachers and ALS coordinators concurrently running ALS classes, and school heads assigned in hardship posts or pure multi-grade schools. The following objectives of DepEd computerization program are the following. Exacts. B, so provide TV packages to all public schools. So under DepEd computerization program, no, include but shall not limited to the following. So provide complete and quality computer lab packages to all public schools, provide smart TV packages to all public schools, provide relevant and necessary software, hardware training, and other program support to all DepEd personnel, and provide ICT infrastructure and systems in public schools and DepEd offices, and to upgrade and strengthen the ICT competencies of learners, teachers, school leaders, and non-teaching personnel, as well as capability building, ensuring utilization of the ICT infrastructure and systems. Next, what is the purpose of National Learning Camp as a voluntary EOC break program? One, improve learning in the form of enhancement, consolidation, or intervention programs in all learning areas for kindergarten. And two, enhance teacher capacity. So the correct answer is C. Both statement 1 and 2 are sufficient to answer that question. Okay, so DepEd Order number 14, series of 2023 contains the policy guidelines on the implementation of the National Learning Counts. So the National Learning Counts, NLC, is a voluntary end of school year break program designed to improve learning in the form of enhancement, consolidation, or intervention programs in all learning areas for kindergarten to K to grade 12 learners and enhance teacher capacity. So it is voluntary EOC break program. It is a voluntary EOC learning program designed to provide further practice on an application of previously taught competencies. It is the consolidation camp. So the consolidation camp is a voluntary learning program designed to provide further practice on an application of previously taught competencies. Opportunities are provided to identify links connecting concepts and skills across grade level uh, competencies. Enhancement Camp is a voluntary learning program designed to enrich learning for advanced learners by providing greater depth, breadth, and complexity of learning area competencies. Then we have our Intervention Camp. It is a voluntary learning program designed to support high-need learners who are yet to grasp foundational mathematics and or foundational English skills. The implementation of the National Learning Camp shall be guided by the following principles. Exacts. Letter B, an individual approach and community engagement support the improvement of education policy. So the implementation of the National Learning Camp shall be guided by the following. Every learner has the right to learn. Engaged learners are motivated, inspired, and willing to invest effort in learning. Teaching must be rigorous and relevant, and purposeful assessment enhances teaching and learning, and a whole school approach and community engagement support the improvement of education quality. So it is a whole school approach, not an individual approach. Okay. Cognizant of the Matatag agenda and the goals of the National Learning Recovery Plan, the National Learning Camp aims the following exacts. Letter E, teachers shall be given the following incentives: vacation service, credit, and certificate of recognition. So cognizant of the Matatag agenda and the goals of the NLRP, the NLC specifically aims for the following. Learners in the enhancement camp shall experience support to achieve greater depth, breadth, and complexity, and teachers shall experience support to improve their professional practice through collaborative expertise and job-embedded learning. Okay. Which is true about National Learning Camp. Letter D. Remedial classes shall be conducted in other grade levels until phased implementation of the NLC is completed. Okay. So the phased implementation of the NLC shall commence in the 2022 to 2023 EOC break, starting with grade 7 and 8 in English, Science, and Mathematics for enhancement, consolidation, and intervention camps, and shall be expanded to other grade levels and learning areas in the succeeding school year, subject to the issuance of separate guidelines. Okay, so remedial classes shall be conducted in other grade levels until the phased implementation of the NLC is completed. So based on the learner's academic performance in the school year immediately preceding the end of school year break, learners in need of greater academic support shall be highly encouraged to participate in remedial classes in order to prepare them to transition to the next grade level. Which of the following is true about National Learning Camp implementation? Letter A. The parent, the legal guardian, consent shall be required prior to participating in the NLC. Okay, so it is very important to secure a parent consent or legal guardian consent. Okay, so prior to participation in the NLC, duly accomplished parent or legal guardian consent shall be required to ensure strong support and involvement of parents or legal guardians in the implementation of the NLC. Okay, the following are sub-programs under National Learning Recovery Program that shall help bridge the learning gaps among learners. Examples. Letter E, other programs implemented by central office and field offices that support learning continuity efforts. Okay, so embodied in Deped Order number 13, Series of 2023, the adoption of the National Learning Recovery Program in the Department of Education. These four critical components of the Matatag agenda serve as the guide of the following programs of NLRP: National Learning Camp, National Reading Program, National Mathematics Program, National Science and Technology Program, and other programs implemented by the central office and field offices that support learning recovery efforts. Okay. The following strategies are anchored on matatag agenda, make the curriculum relevant to produce job-ready, active, and responsive citizens, except letter C. Strengthen back-to-school programs through awareness campaigns, engaging communities, and providing resources for smooth back-to-school transition. So, the strategies anchored on matatag agenda uh, makes the curriculum relevant, not to produce job-ready, active, and responsible citizens. No? So the objectives of the aforementioned program shall be achieved through the implementation of strategies anchored on matatag agenda. Make the curriculum relevant to produce job-ready, active, and responsible citizens. So enhance curriculum across and within learning areas. So most essential learning competencies, the MILKS, per Dep and Order number 12, series of 2020, shall continue to be adapted to guide the curriculum implementation for school year 2023 to 2024, covering formal education and all senior high school, regardless of the learning delivery modality. So however, the use of MILKS shall be gradually phased out in the succeeding school years with implementation of the revised K-10 curriculum. Okay, next, revised K-10 curriculum. This shall be implemented by phase, starting school year 2024 to 2025 for kindergarten, grade 1, grade 4, and grade 7. Then, under enhanced curriculum, we have alternative learning system or ALS. Teachers in ALS shall continue to use the ALS K to 12 basic education curriculum back for the delivery of the basic literacy program and accreditation and equivalency program, elementary and junior high school. Strengthen psychosocial health and social-emotional learning, develop learning remediation intervention resources, conduct and communicate results of the national and classroom assessments. Okay, take steps to accelerate delivery of basic education facilities, and take good care of learners by promoting learning, well-being, inclusive education, and a passive learning environments. Next, the following strategies are anchored on matatag agenda. Take good care of learners by promoting learner well-being, inclusive education, and a passive learning environment. Exams. So B, enhance learning space to ensure that schools are complete with all the necessary equipment and facilities, electricity, functional library, and the like for conducive learning. So this is not within the matatag agenda, but they focus on taking steps to accelerate delivery of basic facilities and services. So enhance learning spaces to ensure that schools are complete with all the necessary equipment, take good care of learners by promoting learning, well-being, inclusive education, and a passive learning environments. Next, the following are the rules and responsibilities of the schools and community learning centers. Except letter A, oversee the implementation of the NLRP in schools, and CLCs implement the NLRP. Okay. So it is the responsibilities of the schools and CLCs to implement the NLRP, align the existing school and or CLC strategic operational plans with the NLRP, mobilize resources to support delivery of the NLRP, engage stakeholders, submit a monitoring and evaluation report of the NLRP. Okay, so I think that ends, okay, our lecture, and let us try to reflect on this verse under Philippians 4:6 CEV. Don't worry about anything, but pray about everything. So with thankful hearts, offer up your prayers and God and requests to God. Okay. So whatever you do, okay, don't forget to look up, okay, and ask for God's grace. Okay. So knock and you shall be open. The doors will be open, and opportunities will come in if you ask it from our God Almighty. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. So good luck and all the best.